Hello interioristas, I'm Ash Appleton. Welcome to season 3 of An African Eye. Today I'm going to walk you through my Cloakroom Reno. I really like the way it turned out and I can't wait for you to see, so keep watching. Lamu on the northern coast of Kenya, in case you don't know, is one of my all-time favorite places in the whole world, and I just love being there. So I wanted this room to say something about the place I love. So that was my inspiration for this room, and everything you see reflects my love for Lamu. In terms of function, if you've been following along, you know that I wanted this room to have two functions, basically a place to wash my clothes and of course a cloakroom. So as you can see, I bought the washing machine in here. It's working and I'm really pleased with it. And of course, it's still a cloakroom. And it doesn't look like a laundry room, if you get my meaning. It's still a place that people can come in and use and they don't feel overwhelmed by lots of dirty laundry and stuff like that. And I've left space so that I can dry clothes with one of those foldable clothes racks in case. And there's also a track running across the ceiling. So there you go. So function, I think it's, kind of works. It's a bit tight. It'd be nice to have a bit more space, but then that's what you use what you got. And that's what I've done in here. As you guys know, my style is what I call modern Africa eclectic. And I think this comes through in here as it does through the rest of my apartment. So how does it come through? Well, it's about Africa. There's very much Africa in here, but it's in a modern way. It's in a modern, fresh way. And the way I bring in modern elements is by using wallpaper photography. This, as you can see, this is an image I shot in Kauai of a grandson running after his grandfather on the beach. And then I've carried on the same theme with a little sort of Instagram type squares on the wall. Same sort of story. And then I've brought that modern bit with the decor items. They're all sort of new, sort of fresh and different. I mean, I've got things like chameleons running up the wall, and there's a nice way of using decorative items. You don't have to just use images on the wall. You can use 3D pieces, and that's what I've done here. So that you can see my style. And of course, my style is about color. There's a lot of color in here, and I've gone away, from just plain white walls, and I've introduced quite a lot of color as well. So that's what I mean in terms of style. So when you're designing interiors, you have to create a mood. So what was my mood? My mood, I wanted to feel happy when I walked in here. I want to feel positive and I want to feel energized. And I want people who use this room to feel the same way. So everything I did referred back to that happy, vibey mood that I was trying to create. The images are all uplifting and positive. There's nothing gloomy or like, ugh. So that's what I've done. And the most important thing is I've used color. I've used a lot of color, bright, fresh, uplifting color. And that creates the mood I'm talking about. Contrast is very important, and I've contrasted a lot, again with texture. Wood, ceramic, paper, glass, quartz, all these are contrasts which help to lift the room. And then don't forget natural elements like plants. Plants do this in such a good way. If you repeat certain things around a room, it helps the eye to travel around the room in an organized, relaxed way, and you focus on what you want to see and then you move on. There are a lot of squares, and that repeats throughout the room. The floor tiles are squares, the wall tiles are squares, even the images on the wall are squares. Can you see? So that helps you. And then the window frames, these are all squares. So you keep seeing the same thing, and that helps to bring the scheme together. So what have I learned? It took way longer than I had anticipated to get this room together. It was a bit of a mission, but it came through in the end. The biggest issue, of course, is plumbing, because I had to move the hand wash basin across the room. So that meant all the plumbing had to run across the room. We had a burst pipe, was leaking, that had to be repaired. It means the wall had to be sort of broken through again and then replastered. So that set things back a little bit, not hugely, but plumbing issues are always big. And then of course I had to replace all the sanitary ware, and that comes with another whole load of stuff. I mean, just bringing out the toilet was such a lot of work. I had no idea. But I know you learn from this, and everything's in place, and obviously I'm happy with it. So in terms of, if you think about doing kitchens and bathrooms, just factor in that the plumbing really is a big deal. And then moving on, What would I do again? I mean, I used the photographic wallpaper. I love it. It's not a cheap option. It's not a cheap option, to be honest with you. But you can paint a mural. You can get a friend to do it or an artist. You can put wallpaper or just do a nice sort of design on a wall. So there are other ways of getting around using sort of a wallpaper mural, even though, because I love it and I use it, but you don't have to use that. The countertops are quartz and they're expensive. So I don't think I want to use quartz again. When I do my kitchen, I think I'm going to look for a cheap alternative. I heard you can mix concrete with something and that gives you a really nice quartz-like finish. So I'm going to explore that. So that's what I've learned. A few niggly things to get to me, like I don't like the gap above the washing machine. That really annoys me. Maybe it's my OCD coming through or something, but so I put the towel to disguise that gap and I'm gonna have to fill it. I'm gonna have to put a piece of wood and, because it really annoys me. It's the little details like this that you have to sort of watch when you're doing, spaces, because every little thing counts. So, but overall, I think it's come out, just the way I wanted, and it'd be nice to have more room, but you work with what you've got, and that's what I've done. What advice would I have in terms of doing a space like this or generally doing up a space? My first piece of advice is shop at home first. What does that mean? It means before you rush out to get stuff, just look around and see what you can bring in from your own home before you actually buy anything new. I mean, a lot of the stuff you're seeing in terms of decorative items, I already had. I moved them from other rooms and I brought them in here and they work quite well. So so always think about what you can bring in, and it just means moving stuff around. I've also been talking about decluttering. So as you're decluttering, sometimes you may have items that you don't need elsewhere that you can use. So rule number 1, shop at home first. And number 2, don't be too rigid about how you want the room to look, because you can get caught up in, oh, this is my Pinterest board and I've got this thing and I really want it to look like this and it's got to look like this, and that sort of shuts you off from other possibilities. If you've been following along, I actually wanted grey floor tiles, and I actually had 2 samples in my earlier videos. But when I went to buy them, I just came across these turquoise ones. I thought, oh, these are really nice. I like this, I want to use them. So how can I use these tiles? So that's what I sort of changed. I rejigged the scheme to incorporate the tiles. And that's what you have to do, especially if you live in a place like Kenya, where you don't get loads and loads and loads of options, the kind of options you get in, like North America or Europe. You have to be flexible. So I think that's always go with your eyes open and see, because you just stumble across something and you love it. And I wasn't quite sure how the turquoise and the yellow would go together, but look, it works. So number 2 is just try to be a little bit flexible. Obviously have a plan, but be flexible. There you go, my Cloakroom Reno. I hope you like it. I hope it's inspiring. Let me know, drop me a line in the comments if you've got any questions. Obviously I can't address everything on here, so in the comments we can carry on the conversation. Subscribe, don't forget to ping the notification bell so you don't miss any episodes, and like this video, share it with your friends. And tune in next week because I'm bringing you back a really popular theme. It's 5 common interior styling mistakes and how to fix them. So I'm going to be talking about 5 more things you can do to avoid these issues. So stay tuned for that. See you soon. Bye.